So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey, welcome to Ho Ho Hong Kong. I am Andy Curtin.
And I am Vivek Mahbubani.
You can catch me online at Andy Curtin on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
And you can catch me over on Facebook at Funny Vivek with the letter M for mustard because there are 0 calories in it.
Oh my God.
Every time I got to think of something
I'm
new.
leaving that in. That's not going to get edited out. I'm kidding. I do 0 editing. If you are enjoying the podcast, please do us a big favor. Hit subscribe. It just helps with all the algorithms and all that stuff and helps us find more people because we want to do this. Do it big, get some live shows going.
Leave a review, say what you liked about it, and remember, give us the ratings on the stars. Remember, count the number of fingers on your hands and give it that star. If you have less than 5, just hit 5.
Yeah. Just the number of fingers you wish you had if you have less than 5 fingers.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about a topic that's very close to Vivek's tongue.
Yep, exactly. It's learning Cantonese.
Language. Should I learn Cantonese? We're going to find out what is the origin story of the language Cantonese.
I spoke Cantonese my whole life, and I probably don't know half of this stuff.
We're going to talk about how you should learn it, why you should learn it, and we're going to get into the politics because there is a huge political aspect to this. What does Beijing look at it? How are they treating it? And I didn't realize there are minority languages in Hong Kong.
Cantonese, Urdu, all these different languages. People are speaking, people are talking, and we'll also probably figure out how many people are speaking what languages.
It's interesting to look at like who is speaking Cantonese, you know. And I found a couple of numbers. Did you know? So this is from 2016. I really tried to get updated numbers, and I'm fascinated to see how they compare now.
So how many people are actually speaking Cantonese?
That's a different question. It's like 60 million people speak Cantonese.
Wow.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, what's Hong Kong, like 7.5 million people?
7.6, 7.5,
so
yeah.
it's well beyond that.
Wow,
right?
10 times of Hong Kong.
Yeah, almost.
Huh.
And then, so within Hong Kong, they did a study of like, what's the usual language that people speak? Cantonese, what do you reckon, percentage?
I would say 67.28%.
88.9.
Wow, of course, lucky number 88, right?
Yeah, hang on a minute. 88.8? That doesn't sound right.
That's at 0.1%.
Okay, I'm very curious to see how close you get to this. Mandarin.
Speakers in Hong Kong?
What percentage of people in Hong Kong in 2016 usually spoke Mandarin?
So that was their first choice of language, right?
Like
I would say 7.3%.
1.9.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it was way more than that.
In fact, it was much less than the category of other Chinese dialects, which is 3.1%.
Okay, so all other dialects added up together, 3.1%.
Yeah.
Wow, so what about English? English gets like, what, 4%?
I don't know why they didn't put it in that table, but I'm like, why didn't I look that up?
They're like, we don't care about that language.
Cares?
Yeah, we're talking about our language, people.
You know,
wow.
There's 1.5 billion people in mainland China.
Yeah.
And yet globally only 1.1 billion people. 1.5 billion people there.
Yeah.
1.1 billion people
globally
speak Mandarin.
Is it like is this like a twist on freedom of speech? It's not that they can't speak Mandarin.
I'm not saying that.
They just are not allowed to say the words in Mandarin.
It's weird,
okay.
right?
Yeah, it's weird. I would have thought pretty much everyone spoke Mandarin there. And
Well, apparently about 400 million people don't speak Mandarin. But what about all the people that are not there?
because like all my brain is thinking is that it's not that they can't speak it, they just don't because of circumstances.
Yeah, forget freedom of speech. They don't even have speech.
Yeah. They don't even have of. None of that phrase.
They're like, forget freedom of speech. We're just working on speech now.
It's probably like really traditional families with the husband's like, honey, we're married now. You don't speak anymore. It's like, well, that's another person that
or
can do
traditional
Mandarin.
Shanghainese families where the woman speaks and the man doesn't speak.
So this is spoken word through the mouth, right? Not your inner feelings, right? Not like, body
what
language.
Do you speak when you cry in your heart?
I'm speaking Cantonese in my tears.
Cryanese.
Cryanese. Oh man, that's a tough language. That tear signifies this.
I'm fluent.
Yeah. All men are once they hit a certain age. right? All comics should be. But okay, well, so 88.9% of Hong Kong speaks Cantonese, and I think
Well, no, it's more than that. This is 88.9 is the percentage that usually speak Cantonese.
okay, usually okay.
That means they speaking it more than English.
the Netherlands, yeah, there you go. So
And you know that's interesting when you look at this that 5% of the population here are domestic helpers.
a lot of them do speak very good Cantonese as well.
Yeah, they'd have to, right?
They pick it up over time, or at least
Yeah.
sufficient to communicate with people around them.
Isn't it fascinating how rich immigrants struggle so hard with languages and like economic immigrants are just hit like native level?
Full on. I think it's the business, right? It's like the money talks and bullshit walks kind of a deal.
Because it would have. I mean, I'm guessing it would have such a drastic impact on their ability to earn.
Yeah. Or you can't afford a translator. Because, like, if you have the money, you're like, I'm not going to learn your language. This
But
guy
I mean,
next
like,
to me.
as a white guy that doesn't speak any Cantonese, I'm not paying a translator.
Well, I mean, like, you think you don't speak Cantonese, but if you make the right sounds at the right time, someone might understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
The sound of tears is another word in Cantonese. Oh, that means
What tone is that?
that is the seventh tone asking for orange juice. Okay.
Was here? So I did a bit of digging online. There was a few things I didn't realize. So similar. Do you know why Mandarin came about?
I would say it's a simplification of another language. Would that be it?
No, so what it was I think in the late 19th century, basically the academics of Beijing realized, because mainland China, every city has its own dialects. Like the diversity of dialect is incredible, which has always shocked me because Russia, so China's like the densest country on earth, arguably. And then Russia is the largest landmass country geographically the largest country on earth, but such a low population.
Yeah.
There's no difference in accent between Vladivostok and Moscow, which is the largest domestic flight in the world.
Is that because no one wanted to keep secrets? They were like, it doesn't matter. I'll just say what he can
We
understand.
don't care what we're not hiding anything.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah.
But then, like Shanghai had 3 dialects of Shanghainese that I was aware of. I'm sure there's more than that.
I can imagine. I mean,
It's such a weird cultural thing. Like, why in a dense? You would think that like where it's less dense,
Yeah.
you would have like a separation.
'cause
of
no
language.
connection, right?
Yeah, because they're not talking.
yeah. Wow. Well, it might just be no one ever spoke until that one guy walked by and started saying words. Like, I like those words. I will stick to those words and I'll use them for the rest of my life.
Sounds like he's crying about orange juice.
Exactly. It's a seventh tone, people. Seventh tone.
So
Wow, that's really fascinating. I really never thought of that.
yeah, so the academics of Beijing, whatever, like whoever's in power at the time, they realized that to enhance trade and unify the country, they needed a lingua franca, basically a language of trade.
Yeah.
Because you had like Fujian province has the most diverse accents in mainland China, and literally like adjacent villages are what you would call mutually unintelligible languages. They can't commute, their dialects can't talk at all.
Yeah.
So suddenly you had everyone learning Mandarin you could say dialect, it's a language, it's a second language.
Yeah.
And boom, everyone can talk now. And they can
Wow.
read stuff that gets rolled out. And so something similar happened with Cantonese. So Cantonese was actually the dialect of Guangzhou.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we call it Guangdonghua, as in Guangzhou language.
Yeah, but it's Guangzhou, but not Guangdong.
Yeah.
But it's spoken as a lingua franca just in Guangdong province.
Ah.
Yeah, so people within Guangdong. So Guangzhou is the capital of Guangdong province.
Yeah.
The people of Guangdong, the province, were learning the language of the capital so that the whole province could trade better.
Wow. That's they decided, you know what? We're gonna do our own thing, people. This new language that
I
the rest
don't know
of the
that. I should have looked up the timing of it. I wonder where they were at. Like maybe this preceded Mandarin. Because when you look at definitely when you look at like migration from Asian or Chinese communities through Malaysia and Singapore, there's all these dialects like Hokkien and Fujianhua,
Yeah.
Minanyu of like
Yeah.
have carried on. Like when I go to Singapore, they're speaking Mandarin to me as the second of their like 4 languages they know.
Yeah.
And
Wow. I mean, then again, yeah, when I go to Singapore as well, they're speaking mixture of languages. They're making their own.
They got the same accent on every accent.
There's always the overtone with the Singlish to whatever words they're trying to say. Even they're asking for orange juice sounds, different.
Did I tell you that Jim Gaffigan joke
No, go on.
He was in Singapore.
Yeah.
And he said Singapore is a city where Chinese, Indians, Malay come together to pretend to speak English.
Gold. Wow. That's a very smart observation.
You know what we're talking about? Like when
Yeah.
a comic comes in.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, oh man, how does no one said
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and they get that fresh perspective, right, on
Yeah.
the whole city. You're like, I see this. You guys don't see this. You're like, oh, you're right. I never thought of that. Wow. So you would say Cantonese became kind of rebellious language in China when the rest of the country.
I don't know the timing. It's possible, but I just don't know the timing. But let's just say it is, because who's
Yeah.
going to tell us we're wrong?
Yeah, true. Right. I mean, like this podcast is in English.
Basically, Cantonese was a war on Mandarin. But
No.
it kind of is becoming that a little bit.
Well, there is a struggle now. I mean, there is this big debate in Hong Kong, the preservation of Cantonese, the language itself, mostly because, I mean, like myself, I speak Cantonese, so you kind of get to appreciate certain things about the language. It's not just the words, but the way you say it, because it's not a written language. You know, it's a language that you speak. Cantonese.
in the sense that it's not different when it's written, right?
So the words you say, the way you speak, and the words you write are different. So
Yeah, I get that. Like
Yeah.
when I was, because I speak Mandarin, I can read simplified.
yeah,
But when I did the first class,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand any of this.
Yeah,
The written part.
It's the traditional Chinese, right? It'll get
weird.
you. Yeah, reverse it. I can read traditional, but I can't really read simplified.
You could pick it up quickly.
I'm
though.
pretty sure,
You
but like a lot of
guess.
times when they put like just an X to replace some of the strokes, I'm like, what? Well, you're trying to
mate,
be.
I have the opposite. I'm like, where did this flower appear from?
Yeah.
Why is there a boat in this character?
It's bizarre, man. I mean, I've actually tried to learn Mandarin. I think, look, I'll be honest, it's a lack of practice, but my excuse for not being able to speak Mandarin is because my brain is just stubborn. It's like, I will do 9 tones, but you give me 4, not enough. I'm not going to learn this language. I want more tones to it.
I thought it was like a political thing.
Well, I mean, maybe subconsciously, but I feel, look, honestly, I would love to learn Mandarin, mostly because I want to understand what people are saying. When I go up to, let's say, mainland China for whatever, I'm walking around town going like, I've lost my superpower.
You know what though? The only time I'm really able to listen into people, because the reality is that when you walk around mainland China, people speak in their dialects,
True.
and it's actually pretty rare that I can eavesdrop. In fact, the first time I was really able to eavesdrop was in Taipei.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody speaking
Mandarin. Yeah.
And I was on the metro. I was like the Matrix. I was like, oh my God, finally, that thing I wanted to do.
Yeah.
She does think I'm fat.
Yeah, you're like, oh, yes, I feel comfortable. Wait, I'm feeling sad now. I will ask for orange juice.
Yeah. That's when I get that 7
Wow.
tone out.
No,
yeah.
good point, actually. I never thought of that because, like, when I'm walking down mainland China, wherever, I'm not noticing the dialects. I'm just hearing
Yeah.
words that I'm like, man, don't
Especially
understand
Shanghai, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like there's Shanghainese people, but then there's a lot of non-Shanghainese people, but they're not speaking Mandarin.
it. Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's why whenever I travel, I really do miss eavesdropping on 88.9% of the population when I'm walking around town.
Yeah.
Because here in Hong Kong, I'm walking down like a detective, man. Everyone's saying their passwords next to me. And I'm just like, all right, now I know what to log in.
so funny.
It's the best, man. I'm telling you, like, I've heard so many intimate and personal conversations. And it's the toughest thing for me is not even trying to, respect the privacy. It's holding in the laughter.
That's amazing.
Right? I'm just like going back, oh God, this is tough. I gotta get off this. I gotta get on the bus. I can't do it anymore. This guy's saying that. So you have that, and I think genuinely the like even one of my original jokes was the fact that this guy was next to me speaking on the phone and telling his friend on the phone that don't worry about it. This guy next to me is a foreigner. He doesn't know what I'm saying. And
That's
I'm just like,
beautiful.
this is Inception. I'm in a world where the guy is telling someone else I don't understand.
That's like what everyone wants in learning a language.
I tell you, that is why I tell people in Hong Kong, learn Cantonese. You are missing out so much fun, so much inside information. And I've always said, once you can understand Cantonese, the city makes so much more sense. Like when someone bumps into you and like yells at you and, suddenly is interested in your mother's well-being and stuff like that, then, you're like, it all makes sense.
You know what's funny? I remember early on in Shanghai, people would say to me, my parents would be like, do Chinese people swear? And I'd be
Yeah.
like, they never swear. I never heard them swearing. Then I learnt the swear words. I was like, oh, that's what they're saying.
Yeah. I thought they were just clearing their throats.
Wow. Did not realize that they'd been saying that the whole time. Like when I learnt tamada,
Yeah. Oh, classics, man.
I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely been hearing that a lot.
Yeah. I just never thought it was actually a phrase or meant anything. I just thought it was just, another
I
sound.
don't know why,
Yeah.
it's such a language is such a weird thing. It's like consciousness. It's like you don't realize how much you're not taking in.
But have you noticed?
Until you kind of elevate your level of consciousness is the analogy to elevating your level of
Correct.
of
Your
linguistic
observation.
ability.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
Suddenly you're catching all this stuff.
Correct.
It's like
And
you're hitting another level.
It's kind of like the person who doesn't really know comedy, but once you study it, and all of a sudden now you're watching the same comedy set and you're seeing different levels.
Yeah, it's Matrix. It's like
Yeah.
suddenly you're seeing all these inner workings going on beyond the surface level that you could see before.
For example, like before, I used to watch Jim Gaffigan, a guy telling jokes, right? But now I would notice that sometimes when he tells a joke and he's waiting while people are laughing, he'll kind of shake his mic a little bit next to his mouth, right? I'm like, oh yeah, he does that. And it's kind of a subconsciously, you watch it and your brain is like, oh, shake mic, I will laugh. You have that as well.
That's the old, like, real old school. They tap the mic. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that kind of thing. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, I never noticed that until now I'm doing it and studying it.
Yeah, I wonder if he's doing that on purpose.
Well, who knows, man? Maybe it's a little Jedi mind trick for people like that joke was B, but I'm going to make it A. Shake the mic, shake the mic, shake the mic. It's an A joke now. Thank you very much.
And also just the art of, like, word choice and timing.
Exactly.
And all that,
That's what I mean. When I tell people, that comes back to the biggest struggle. It's same with Cantonese. You go for your first lesson. All right, first two tones are good, but when you get that seventh tone, the ninth tone, you're like, I can't do this. This is so much more complex than I thought. It's like any skill, right? You learn the drums, you're like, come on, man, I got 2 arms, 2 feet. I can hit this stuff, keep a beat to it, no problem. Then you learn ghost notes and everything. Like, what? They do this in the song, right? Guitar. I mean, one of the reasons I don't play guitar, I try to learn it, was because I was like, I have 5 fingers and you give me 6 strings? No, I'm not going to do that. This is not...
I can figure this out.
Yeah, right? Until they put my hands on it, I'm like, I can't cover all strings. They're like, yeah, you have to keep picking. So I have to, like, let go of one. I have to choose which string not to press. They're like, yeah. I'm like, you know what? No. This instrument is defective. Like, this was not designed for people like myself.
I'm fascinated at the logic that you apply to things in this world.
Learn Cantonese, Andy. It will all make sense.
So why should I learn Cantonese?
Well, honestly, it's number one. You get praised on a daily basis. You can't have a bad day. Like, you could wake up, life is terrible. You walk out to say, Josan. Everyone's like, whoa, so smart, you are, right? And you're like, I'm the king. I feel good. These guys, everyone's your hype man. Everyone is just there saying, you are the man. Thank you so much for learning the language. I want to talk to you. And then they will speak to you and you won't understand anything, but you still feel good. So number one, you automatically have a citywide 88.9% of people become your hype man. Wherever you go, you just say a simple phrase and like, yes, you the man. Thank you so much. That's number one. Number two, honestly, really, it just makes life so much easier. A lot of times you want to get something done and you got to like speak in English or kind of use your hand signals, gestures, and you're like, oh, I just need you to understand this. And number three, honestly, swearing in Cantonese is so relieving.
I hear this all the time. I
Oh,
hear like
it's-
swearing is like an art form in Cantonese.
It is an art form. Like if
Like
you're able
do
to,
or whatever.
do is like, like basically fuck, right?
Yeah.
But then
But it's
the
got
way
all
you
these
say
different ways
it,
of
the way
saying
you
it.
say it, man. I mean, like if you're able to say it in such a beautiful way that you say it and people don't realize you're saying. Like for example, let's say you're waiting for the bus, you're like "Deh," right? You don't even go "dew," you just go "deh." Right?
That sounds like you've had a frontal lobotomy.
Well, when you miss the bus, that's what it feels like. You're like, oh man, my life. But then when you do that, people can feel your frustration, going like, okay, he's pissed off. Okay, just let him take a deep breath. We'll be fine. And one of the things I tell people is that go to a park, right? Watch the typical old man or old men play Chinese chess. And just watch the swearing happen. Every 2 words. Oh, and you're like, oh, what
It's so funny because like when you don't speak the language, you look at him sitting there, you're like, oh, it's so cultural.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
realize he's going, motherfucking shit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's telling me, this stupid wind is causing me bad luck. What's happening over here? Oh, I can't sit in this seat.
that
Bad
a
function. Yeah, I mean anything, man. It's just
I love it.
It's just a bunch of guys yapping away and having a good time. And I always say what we call Wayunaba, which is Victoria Park uncle. Right, so these guys are just sitting there, shirt off, playing Chinese chess, and like shaking one leg and kind of talking smack with each other, and just generally complaining about the world, but adding unnecessary cuss words. They are the opposite of a good set in comedy, where we're trying to minimize the wasteful words. These guys are just throwing in words that you don't need.
They're just maximizing it.
And unfortunately, it's the same word every time. Every time they have to ask about each other's parents, mothers, families, stuff like that, just over a game of Chinese chess. It's the best. And if you understand Cantonese, you enjoy it. If you don't, you think you're watching culture. If you understand Cantonese, you know this is just bullshit.
Yeah, I do kind of look at it like there are two reasons why I would study it.
Yeah.
The first reason is respect.
Of course, when you
Like,
come to this place,
You're in
yes.
someone's like when people in the West are really happy to say. It's funny how in the West people are like, "Hey, you came here, learn the language." No, I never hear that in Asia.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
like, "Man, you didn't learn. What are you gonna do?"
Yeah, yeah.
It's tricky.
It's very weird, right? It has a
Nah,
bizarre
never-
double
never,
standard.
There's no expectation.
Yeah.
Never hear that expectation.
Well, then again, maybe they are doing.
maybe like once I've heard someone say it.
They are probably complaining about it, but in Cantonese, so you have no idea. They're saying it in Cantonese.
Yeah, I don't know. People never said that in mainland China, and,
Yeah.
and I've never had a sense of that. I mean, do you think it's a thing? That
No, I
people-
don't really think so. I honestly, in Asia, a lot of people, because also English.
I've never had anyone make me feel for a second that I should be speaking Cantonese.
Yeah, I think honestly, because English is just a spoken language / international language thing, so everyone
Yeah.
kind of just feels, well, we should learn English more than
Yeah.
you should learn the Eastern language that actually is our home language.
But there isn't that sense of respect. Like you're here.
Yeah, I mean,
like I'd also add to that. Like I'm a little bit embarrassed at the idea that people are like, oh, you've lived there for how many years? 5 years? Did you speak the language? And I'll be like, oof.
yeah.
Like I just feel like I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
I don't want to be that person.
I know what you mean. It kind of shows a little bit disrespectful if you put it that way, or B, it's just laziness. It's like you had every opportunity. You were in literally the best place ever, and you're telling me you've never learned the language. It's kind of like you work at a comedy club for let's say 20 years as the bar staff or whatever, and you've never actually watched the show, right? Or you've never actually been tempted. Let me just go up there and maybe do one joke on an open mic.
Yeah, well, that's a great. I like that analogy because to me, it's the experience that's the real draw.
Yeah.
Like going back, I keep using this Matrix. I'm killing this Matrix analogy, but
You are the one, Andy. You are the one.
I'm the two.
Okay.
I remember when about 3 years into Shanghai, I'd been studying pretty hard, been going pretty hard at it, and I felt like at that point I got to a level where if I didn't understand something, I didn't need the explanation in English.
Yeah.
Like I could ask, what did that mean? And they could explain it in Chinese and I
Yeah.
could get through that.
So you get basically a Chinese to Chinese dictionary. You wouldn't need the Chinese to English dictionary.
Sure.
Yeah, got it.
I would.
I mean,
actual
in the
dictionary,
analogy, yeah.
but sure. And then it was like the depth to my neighborhood just, it was like it's like if you were
living in a bubble,
it was
right?
like if you were scuba diving on low visibility.
Yeah.
And then just all the dust cleared. And
Yeah.
suddenly I was like, oh, those people are different from those people. Like the women in the bakery, they're Shanghainese, but the people in the tea store, they're from Wishan.
Yeah.
And they're speaking something else.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting.
And I fully agree with you on that because it's like we talked earlier on, is that once you understand it at a basic level, you suddenly learn to appreciate it on a whole new level. It's like drinking coffee or wine or whatever. Before coffee, it's like coffee's coffee, right? But then you learn, the thickness, the texture, and it changes your world. When you go to a place and the coffee's average, you're like, this is terrible. What am I wasting my time with? Same with comedy, same with languages. It's like me telling people, hey, come to a comedy show. And they're like, no, I watch a lot of comedy on Netflix. I'm like, yeah, I know, but just come to the show. But it's the same thing. My TV screen's so big, I think I'm in a live show. I'm like, trust me. Just come here. I want you to feel the echoes of the room. I want you to feel the words coming out of these speakers, the guy in your face, that light in your eyes, and then you will get what I'm trying to say.
It's experience.
Yes, experience. And same with learning the language. Like you said, the same environment you were in, by you suddenly giving yourself that one little ability of understanding the language on another level, suddenly now you're seeing parts of your neighborhood that you never noticed or didn't understand.
It was amazing. And suddenly from then I would start taking the alleyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really and it's amazing how when I couldn't understand them, how just like intellectually I just a block.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see a map of like my view of that street.
Yeah.
As my language level changed, because it'd be like smooth walls.
Yeah.
No, not even cluing on that there's stuff there, and then suddenly it's like, oh, that's what that kind of person is.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on there. And I remember there was, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but in near Xiamen they have these things called the Tulo. You'd know it if you've seen it. It's like a real cliche Chinese icon. It's like a giant mud hut. Sort of looks like a donut.
Okay.
And whenever they do Mulan or whatever, they're all in these movies.
Oh, yeah, those,
It's like a UNESCO heritage listed place.
Got it.
You can go there, and some of them are, they were like walled cities, and they're huge, and they've been turned into tourist locations, or others have just been left alone, and you can go and stay in them. It's a real remote thing that you can go and do. And I went into one of them, and like the people living in there had lived there their whole life. There was like 80-year-olds that had lived in there their whole life.
Yeah.
in this same like
That was their world.
structure. That was their whole world.
Wow.
And I go in there and they would invite you into their house and I was able to talk with them. And I was like, man,
That's
that like,
fascinating.
4 years of this language was worth it. For that,
Yeah.
That singular experience.
I think that's what it is. The moment you're able to have a nice, decent conversation
Yeah.
with the language, you're going to, it just hits a good feeling because you're like, wow, I'm actually conversing. This is not.
You know that when you're like, you get off the phone and you're like, I just had my first phone call. in this
Yeah.
language."
Exactly. They didn't cut the line. I understood what they were saying.
Yeah.
I reserved the table at the restaurant. Yay.
Yeah.
You know,
And
but
then you realize that you've
the wrong restaurant.
signed up to work there.
yeah, exactly. Or you decided to give away your funds for charity, something like that. Still good. Yeah.
You still feel good about it.
Yeah, you did something. But yeah, learning Cantonese has a different challenge compared to a lot of other languages, mostly because the language
hard,
is
right?
hard, like 7 or 9 tones.
And speaking Mandarin gives you very little advantage.
Yeah, reverse is speaking Cantonese, moving on to Mandarin is way easier than
Is it
Mandarin.
really?
Yeah, because there's a lot. Because again, once you understand the basics of the upward tone, the downward tone, the boo, and the flat tone, right? Then you're like, oh, I get it. It's just those 4. But in Cantonese, it's not just the upward, downward. It's the little in between. It's kind of up, but it's the first tone up, and then it's also what is your exact expression? Are you
Who
angry?
made this stupid language?
Guangdong people.
That's got to be like, let's just mess with
And
people.
many years ago, in the Guangdong area, for trade reasons, this is what I learned today. No, I think honestly, the language is it's one of those things that it's kind of like the dictionary now. The more we use a certain word, they just eventually add it into the dictionary. Like the word "do" by Homer Simpson
Oh,
is
yeah,
right.
yeah,
So I'm sure
yeah.
Cantonese was the same thing.
The language is not static.
Yeah, so I think that's probably how a lot of this expression or the tone started happening in Cantonese. It's like, oh, he's angry, but not that angry. All right, that's going to be a new tone, guys. That's the angry but not angry tone. Same but different tone.
Have you ever heard of the book The Surgeon of Crowthorne by Simon Winchester?
I'm going to say yes, but tell me all about it.
So basically, it sounds crazy, but it's really good. So basically, I think it's like the late 1800s, like British imperialism had gone across the world, and they were actually, it might have even been 100 years earlier. I gotta look it up, but there were no dictionaries. Dictionaries didn't exist. There was one dictionary that had been made, and it was very subjective. It was just one person who read the dictionary.
Yeah.
He's like, that's a cat,
Yeah. Wow, okay.
Anyway, so the Oxford University were like, we need to put our language in stone so that it isn't ruined by the colonies.
Yeah.
And so that is the genesis of the first dictionary, the Oxford English Dictionary. And so what they did was they tackled a volume at a time, and they would do A and then use that to fund B. And it was like early crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
They would say to people, they'd put signs up in at the edge of the university saying, if you want to read books and find us every example of AA to like AB, or AAA to AAB. And so people would give them the work, and they would take averages to figure out the definitions of stuff. And there was a guy who was sending in work under the name The Surgeon of Crowthorne, but the volume of work was so big, they were like, it's got to be a team of people, And the guy who was kind of leading the funding effort was like, I'm going to go down there. Maybe we can find some money, or maybe there'll be some advantage here. So they goes to meet this guy. And Crowthorne is an insane asylum.
Yeah.
And the surgeon is an American Civil War surgeon who'd lost his mind, shot a guy in the streets of London, and was held, indefinitely in this insane asylum.
Yeah.
Sitting in a small cell, filled to the top with books, writing the Oxford English Dictionary.
Wow.
Yeah. I think they're making it into a movie. I heard somewhere.
Wow, that's crazy. This guy's probably like rolling in his grave right now when he finds out the word cray cray is in the dictionary. He's like, what? You took out the Z? You know how hard I worked?
In fleek.
Exactly. How dare you? Is Instagram a word? What? Oh, God. It's space, comma,
But
book.
I disagree. Well, I don't know this guy, and obviously he was insane. But I think that the real lovers of the language understand that it's a strength
Yeah.
that it changes.
Yeah.
And then it adapts, and then it becomes efficient.
Well, I would say that is how a language should be. It should evolve with the times. I mean,
Yeah.
everything in life evolves anyway, so it's kind of silly to be stuck in the olden days.
There's this old thing where people say, well, they don't speak English like they used to. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, if you want to tell me that art isn't as transcendent now as it was.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you're not paying attention.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just that we don't feel like it's now, it can be pretentious to just try for the sake of seeming more artistic.
Yeah.
To try and find big words rather than to find actual meaning.
Yeah. I think that's the difference, is like trying to look artistic and actually be artistic is
like,
two different things.
Is there a transmission of emotion, or are you just trying to get a word?
Yeah, I mean, it would be silly to come to a comedy show and say, hey, back in the days with the kingdoms, the jesters didn't do it this way.
Yeah.
You know, entertain me like a jester.
Why doesn't this comedian have a hat with bells on it?
Yeah, exactly. Why is there no hole in the floor for me to like sink the guy down into the waters, right? It's like things change, people.
Why didn't the king kill one of these guys at the end of the show?
Exactly, yeah. Someone comes with a Burger King cap and he's like, all right, make me laugh. But I would say Cantonese is one of those languages as well where, because it's so expressive, that it's hard to explain until you live in it. Like if you went to a class every day.
It seems that people say it's the expressiveness.
It's very
of it.
expressive, yeah. And the problem is until you actually use it, going and reading through books or tapes or whatever just doesn't cut it. You need to use it regularly, or at least be in it and live in it to fully understand the nuances of, like I said, the expression, the and the two different things. So that's what also comes to comedy as well. Like, lucky for me, because I grew up here in Hong Kong and I speak
language comedy parallels are huge.
Yeah, very big, So for myself, when I'm doing Cantonese comedy, I'm not trying to like, oh, ha, 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 this is the word in Cantonese now. But it's like, how can I translate this particular story that I have maybe written in English, but say it in the same way in Cantonese, but also convey the same emotions through the language? So some of my jokes can translate, some of them can't.
How... Right? And what does translating mean?
So I'm not saying like, I went and took the bus. 我今日去搭巴士, not like word for word translation, right? But it's the translation of the feelings and the visuals, right? So I went and took the bus. I would not say 我去搭巴士. I'd be like, 我搭巴士. So I would just go, I wouldn't say I went to go take the bus. I would just say I took the bus. Yeah, more casual, but in the Cantonese casual way. So the translation has to trying to translate that feeling of me talking to you with this tone, but in this other language.
Yeah, you got your cadence and your time.
Cadence and also wording organization. So in English, you might say A, B, C, D, but in Cantonese, you might say A, D, C, B, right? To get the same explanation of the sentence.
Wow.
Right? So that's the challenge. It's like, what if your punchline is C, but you got to put the C in the front now? How could I?
have that problem in English anyway. I in fact, like, especially with newer comics, I see that in their jokes.
Yeah.
You're like, your reveal word.
Yeah.
The word, the funniest word, the word that is making this. You're doing it like
too early
from the end.
Yeah.
Sometimes, do you know who it was of all people? Friggin' Jonathan Atherton.
Oh.
Said to me, comedy doesn't have to make grammatical sense.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think about that a lot. It's like you can get away with a sentence that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Just to get that joke at the end.
Yeah.
The word at the end, and it'll make it work better.
Fair enough. I mean, like, ultimately, your goal is to make the audience laugh. So if it takes you kind of playing around with the grammar, it's fair enough. But then
take some liberties.
Yeah, exactly, extra liberty. But then the best, obviously, is when you don't have to use that. It's kind of like if you have to bend the grammar to the point where people feel this doesn't sound right, but it is funny at the end.
Sometimes it's just funny.
Yeah, it's just funny.
It's just like, I don't know, it doesn't even make sense. It's funny.
Yeah. And it's so absurd, or the way you said it, or just adding it all up together. It's like a callback, right? When you're doing a bit and you just call back, that callback is not funny. It's because it's a callback, therefore it's funny. But anyway, we're going off topic. We always end up going to talk about comedy. we're supposed to focus on Cantonese.
This is all just a ruse for talking about comedy.
Yeah.
Rachel, we're like, tell me about your Hong Kong stories, and then we'll tell you how it relates to comedy.
Yeah, we can't get away, man. We're in a comedy club, in a comedy room, and we're talking the stuff.
But if I'm really being honest with you, I've been thinking about it a lot. I really do want to study Cantonese.
Yeah.
I know this is a cop-out because you only need to put 20 minutes in a day, but I'm struggling to find 20 minutes in a day.
Yeah.
I really haven't been finding it. And the thing that's in my mind is you do not casually pick up a language like Cantonese.
Yeah, you can't.
It is a commitment. I mean, I studied Mandarin for 10 years. I don't think I achieved the level that I really set out to achieve.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting the same in Cantonese.
I would say the best way really is not like to say, okay, I'm going to sit down for 20 minutes, listen to the tape, but maybe set aside
a lifestyle commitment.
Yeah. But I would say initially maybe set out half an hour or a day where for that half an hour, everything around me is Cantonese. So anyone who I'm working with, whatever, you must be speaking to me in Cantonese and I have to somehow figure it out. You get it? So then you just experience it for 30 minutes a day. It's kind of like, yoga or whatever, where you just do it for 30 minutes. Eventually, it becomes just a habit. And you notice that the repetition, like every time you're, let's say, at the riff over here, and for that 30 minutes, they're talking to you in Cantonese, and you'll notice, oh, that is glass. Bui. Okay, bui is glass. It just clicks in your head now. You automatically remember the sound because you're now not just remembering the sound, you're actually remembering the experience when you were looking at that thing.
Well, there's a bigger mental imprint.
Yeah.
It's
visual.
Yeah.
It's in the moment.
Yeah. Because my kids are learning Russian. They probably speak Russian as well as they speak English. And I'm picking up so much because he'll accidentally speak to me in Russian or hear,
Yeah. And there you go. Yeah. And you remember so even when I was learning Cantonese, one of the things I did before is I may not remember the words itself, but I would remember the tone. So I'm thinking musical.
But when you were learning it, like how?
So when I was
in,
I was like 6 years old in primary school, and I learned for 6 years.
Your first language is English.
English and then Cantonese. So I actually only speak 2 languages, really.
And so at 6.
At 6 years old, I was in primary school, and that's
in primary
when
school they're like, how hard was it going to primary school when you didn't speak the language?
And it was tough, man. I mean, like I came second last when I was in primary 2 in the whole year. It was terrible because my family don't speak Cantonese, and therefore they couldn't help me. And
still to this day, they don't.
Well, barely. I mean, my mom enough to go to the market and ask for a discount. Right? So that works out for her. But it's not enough to help. Like in English, you see the word apple. You're like, oh, apple, right? But in Cantonese or Chinese characters, you can't look at the word like, okay.
Phonetic language.
Yeah, you don't see, 7 strokes is the huh. It doesn't work that way. So they couldn't help me. They didn't know how to help me. Yeah, huh, that's the 7th stroke, huh, right?
Do you feel like that shaped you as a person at all?
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, the challenge,
Did the other kids speak English?
Not much. Because in the whole school, they were all Chinese. So from convenience point of view, they're going to choose Cantonese because like 99% of the class or 88.9% of the class was speaking Cantonese, right? So why would they have to waste their time trying to speak in English to me when they got everyone else speaking to them in Cantonese? It's kind of like my job to, if I want to get participate or play with them, I've got to learn the language, right? So initially it was really tough. I'll be very honest with you. There were struggles. My parents were really worried. My mom was worried because back then in the 80s, this wasn't a common thing for a non-Chinese kid to learn Cantonese. But they really felt that if you're going to live somewhere, like you said, the respect issue, and also they realized that they had limitations living here in Hong Kong and not speaking.
They didn't want you to have them.
They didn't want me to have it, and they were too lazy to learn themselves because they didn't want to commit 20 minutes a day. So they decided, all right, make the son do the work. Like, put him in school, make him translate it for us. I'm like, yeah, great. So that's how it is.
You're like, it's so nice you're helping me. They're like, helping you?
Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah, exactly. Not for your future, people. So it was tough. So I never lied to anyone and say, hey, man, just, keep at it. You can do it. I said, look, honestly, like you said earlier on, it's really, you got to live in the language. You got to really put it and commit to it. But the truth is, you commit 2-3 years of genuine every day, putting maybe like an hour of my environment is Cantonese for this whole hour. I'm pretty sure in 2-3 years time, you're going to be able to see a completely different world around you. Because you'll be saying the words, you'll be knowing how to express certain words, and you will just understand. And like I said, the challenge is...
But you're still like barely fluent at that point.
Yeah. But enough to kind of communicate what you want to say, even though you can't have like
They handle like 90% of street interactions. Right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, so you have that. Oh, and I would tell you, the truth is, if you can understand Cantonese, that's 70% of the battle. Right? And then if you can speak it, that's another 20%. So that's 90%. And if you can read it, that's the last 10%, and you're 100%, you're set. Because the truth is, if you can't read it, you can kind of get away with a lot of stuff. But if you can't speak it, you can still kind of get away. But if you can understand it, then it makes everyone else so much more convenient to want to communicate with you. Because if I only speak Cantonese...
So even if you're going to English, you're still getting how they think.
Yeah, exactly.
And little bits of what...
Yeah, and it works. Because like, let's say I speak to you in Cantonese.
Isn't there like honkish or something now? Like it's like sort of half Cantonese, half English?
There's a lot of that, yeah. So a lot of words, like Cantonese is so efficient, or we try to make it efficient, that if a word in Cantonese is not easy to say, even like the word itself is like a tongue twister, you just use an English word to replace it. Like for example, do you get it? You would say, again, get though. So you would say, do you get or not get it?
Yeah,
in Cantonese, right? So you have that. And I used to have a joke before where I would say, in Cantonese, very often we speak more English than we do in Chinese words in the sentence. So, for example, the word...
Drew had a similar joke.
Really? Yeah. Same thing. So you would have just... And for example, okay, so I'll tell everyone, if you speak Cantonese, I said a sentence is, 用 notebook drop down notes 都幾 efficient, which basically means saying using a notebook to jot down notes is more efficient.
That's
right?
great.
So I just said 用 notebook, drop down, notes, do, gay, efficient. So out of that whole sentence, only 3 were Cantonese characters.
That's like Drew's bit is like he's at a meeting and they're like, "Oh, my English is not so good. Can I speak Chinese?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." They're like, 我们今年有很多 improvements
You're like, wait,
from the beginning of last year. 然后我们 choose a line manager.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, same deal. And you're just like, I think you're pretty good at this. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah. And you would notice that if you speak the language, you're like, wait a second. Why did I learn
It's
all
funny
this?
though that when you transliterations, you don't catch them. I remember saying to a friend of mine,
Yeah.
I was saying transliterated words in Japanese. I was like, orange juice, or like
Yeah.
swimming or puro.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
like, oh my God, your Japanese is fluent. You know?
Yeah. You're like, not really, but okay, I got
No,
away
I'm
with
just
it.
racist. No. So there's a question though. Like, here's the 2 issues that I have. Here's the 2 main things that are preventing me. Time is not just time, but knowing how massive a commitment it is
Yeah.
to take on.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, and I'm not saying I'm sold on this, but is this language the right one to learn?
Well, okay, so if you look at purely from a ROI, return on investment, I cannot confidently tell you, yes, it's worth the ROI. Because the amount of energy you put in to learn Cantonese versus the number of people who speak it, or how much it opens the world to you, definitely Mandarin. If you learn it with the 4 tones, you can communicate with way more people in the world.
And also, like, if as a Mandarin English speaker, like on a Venn diagram, like how many people am I adding
Yeah.
that don't speak English, don't speak Mandarin, but speak Cantonese?
Exactly. So from that point of view, the investment, yes, definitely Cantonese. I could not say the ROI is worth it. If you're going to if you have limited hours and I have 20 minutes a day, I need to pick the best language for me to get my best returns, then Cantonese is not that language.
Do you know more people speak Cantonese than speak Italian, Dutch, Polish, or Thai?
Oh, man.
True.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Well, then again, let's think about it. Like Italian, half of the language is not spoken anyway.
Hey,
yeah,
their
right.
tones are in their hands.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's not a spoken word. I don't really know. Okay. Well, it's good to know.
I
But
heard a rumor that the schools are killing off Cantonese by teaching in Mandarin.
here in Hong Kong?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's happening. They're actually forbidding students from speaking Cantonese at school, claiming it's in hopes for them to learn Mandarin better because they speak Cantonese at home anyway. But you're getting more and more kids nowadays who actually don't even speak Cantonese or have an accent and they grew up in Hong Kong.
I mean, that's like a bigger concern. It's like, am I committing to Latin?
Yeah, you're not really. It's just that the problem with Cantonese now, there's a lot of political stuff behind it. Like the idea of like if you all don't speak Cantonese or like traditional Chinese, the less you use it, the fewer people that know it. And then eventually it just fades away. Because, simplified Chinese works, right? But then there's the big academic challenge of simplified Chinese and traditional Chinese. The characters in traditional Chinese have meaning. For example, the word for love and stuff like that, there's like the heart and all that. But then apparently like in simplified Chinese, they remove those characters. So it's kind of like it has a different meaning to it. So it's all these small things.
The first year that they did a simplified Chinese language,
Mm-hmm.
they simplified it too far and it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it lasted, I think, about 3 years. And there's a generation of Chinese people that learned this oversimplified Chinese that's never been used, and they don't know how to read.
So they're basically the current generation learning English. Lol.
Yeah, well, but I just mean that like they can't read anything that's out
like
there.
it's what they
Since
learn is way
1969, They were like, "Ugh, let's get a few more strokes in there.
Yeah,
This is too
wow.
confusing."
I never knew that. I thought they simplified as much as they could. Apparently
And
they
I
could make it
wonder
even more.
if they would have ever simplified it in the era of computers.
Well, that also comes down to the characters and
Because
the
like, when are you going
fonts.
to write with a pen, really? How
You're not
often do you write
gonna.
with a pen?
Oh, rarely, man.
Right? And writing with traditional simplified doesn't make a difference on a phone.
Yeah. You just type it in. It knows the direct translation anyway.
Yeah.
That's actually what I do. A lot of times when I get messages and people type simplified, I just put it into translation.
I
It
do
gives me
Google, yeah.
Yeah, directly translates to traditional. I know what they're saying now.
Yeah.
So it's like a redundant language. One is like prettier at most. The other one is simplified, but it's kind of the same point.
But I get like making it easier to write would help at some point, but I don't think that's
shorthand
true anymore.
basically.
Yeah.
I think this is the art versus the efficiency, as in like form over function thing, where you could put LOL, laughing out loud, BRB, stuff like that. When I write the word because, have you heard that shorthand where you put the 3 dots?
Yes.
Yeah, so I write because like that because it just saves me time when I'm writing out my notes or whatever. And I understand it, but I should also know how to write the word BECAUSE because. You get it? So just for simplification and efficiency, I'll put the 3 dots. But does not mean I should never even have touched the word.
Well, I never learned to write Chinese with a pen
Oh, okay.
because I was like, man, that's going to take a lot of work, and I don't think I'll ever use it. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've ever missed out.
Yeah, I don't think you have. If you know how to type it on the computer,
Really?
you're good to go.
So a couple of questions from the podcast group. We, by the way, we have a WhatsApp group. If you want to get in the WhatsApp group, look in the description of the podcast and you can just click through and get in there. Question from Peter Ballock to me. Would you learn Cantonese for comedy or otherwise? I would not learn it for comedy.
That's another level.
Yeah, if you talk about the effort to learn it for, just to learn it, that comedy's like a whole nother commitment. You
Yeah.
know, to be good at comedy, it's you also got to keep it up.
Yeah.
You got to my Mandarin. I stopped Mandarin comedy because it was just too much.
Yeah.
You got to perform several times a week. You got to write. Like it's huge commitment.
Yeah.
And I do not have the life time to get that done in Canton.
It's kind of like saying, you learn the scales on the piano to eventually play a jazz session. Just like, well, that's a whole different thing. Learning
Yeah.
the scales is one thing, but being
I
the
think
jam.
it's worse than that. It's like not just by a session, but to be a regular session.
Yeah,
player.
yeah.
There's no like I'm a comedian, but I haven't performed in 10 years. It's like
Yeah.
you're either now or you're not.
Yeah. And I guess, that commitment / interest as well. Yeah. So I fully understand you not wanting to go that route.
So a question from Grant Todman. He said, if you could speak to anyone in Cantonese, who would it be? Where outside Hong Kong, Guangdong would Cantonese be useful and why? Why don't you do the second one?
Okay,
You know
so
about
where
that.
outside, actually what I find is everywhere I travel, there are some communities that speak Cantonese. Like
You
even
were
when I
saying
was,
Malaysia, there was a big one.
there was lots, man. Malaysia, a lot of people speak Cantonese and I'm way better than them at it. But, so Penang, even in Kuala Lumpur, tons of people. I was in Melbourne, a lot of people there speak it. When I do my Cantonese shows in Melbourne, actually I get Vietnamese, Thai, Hong Kong Chinese coming down to the show.
No white people though.
You have the boyfriend or the girlfriend coming
Yeah.
in, to show support, right? So you have that. But honestly, wherever I traveled, because my ears are noticing Cantonese. So definitely there's someone. And if anything, when I'm traveling and I'm speaking Cantonese, you just feel safe. You're like, yeah, pretty much no one's going to understand what I'm saying
And
now.
I think Chinatowns traditionally had
A lot.
were more Cantonese leaning.
Correct,
'cause all the
yeah.
Immigrants would come from Hong Kong.
Yeah, a lot, especially after the handover and stuff like that. So you have, when I was in Vancouver, there was tons over there, right? So outside of, let's say, Hong Kong and let's say Malaysia and all that stuff, you have all over the place. So honestly, wherever I've ever traveled, at some point I've noticed Cantonese, whether they're tourists or they just live there and they've moved there. Definitely. So I wouldn't say you're limited to speaking to any people over there. It's just that, like I said, if I spoke Mandarin as well, I would have probably noticed way more Mandarin speakers when I was traveling.
This next question is a bit of a tricky one from Charlie Cooper. He said, what political value do you think there is in the designation of Cantonese as a dialect of Mandarin rather than its own separate language when it comes to core concepts like Zhonghua Minzu? I think that it isn't linguistically, it's not a dialect of Mandarin, right? They are dialects of the same group, but it's not derivative of Mandarin.
I don't know the official academic thing, but what I would say, the parallels, if it was, I would have been speaking Mandarin way faster than what I've been trying to attempt at.
Yeah, but I think it's a subset in the sense that, like, Mandarin is definitely the dominant lingua franca.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. It's like, just because you have a certain style of comedy doesn't mean you're a subset of Def Comedy Jam, right?
I wish I was.
Hey, work at it.
How do you think Beijing looks at Cantonese?
I would say it's really just if you want to get political, I kind of feel it's like just a minor annoyance to them. Where it's like, how is Mandarin worse than this? Why are you guys not adapting to Mandarin? It's easier, it's simpler, more people speak it, it's more beneficial. Why are you holding on to this language of yours, right? So why are you wasting this much effort?
I would guess that anything like China's whole thing is like, we want to make our people think that they're unified and different from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And so anything that makes a group of people within China identify as different from the other people of China is a problem that needs to be erased.
Correct.
I would say with a lot of confidence, I would say that that's a point of view that's going to be held about.
Yeah, so it's a minor annoyance.
Cantonese is a way in which, like, I bet they don't give a shit about Cantonese in Guangdong province.
Yeah.
But it's when it's here and it does have that it allows people to say, "Hey, I'm not mainland Chinese. I'm something else."
Yeah.
That's
It's a
where I
certain
think it's-
identity.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like saying, you have a certain accent and that accent kind of identifies who you are. And I think Cantonese is that, like I said, it's that secret language that this group speaks that the parents don't speak. It's like when I was young, me and my sister spoke in Cantonese, so we could tell secrets in front of my parents' faces. And they were like, "You're practicing." I'm like, "Yeah, we are practicing."
We're practicing.
Yeah.
Big nose.
Yeah, exactly. You have no idea, right? So I think honestly, it's the matter, like you said, the fall into line kind of deal where, we are all one united team. Why do you have to have a different language from the rest of the team? Why do you have to be so quote unquote special? What's so different? But Guangdong, at least China's got more control over it. Because, they still are under that rule of law or whatever.
Totally. I mean, it's completely within the system.
Yeah, and Hong Kong's not yet.
People from Guangdong, I mean, the ones that I know, and I know a lot of people from there, they see themselves as part of the same China.
Yeah.
They don't think we're the Southerners.
Yeah.
It's not even like the US, where they're like, the South is different from the North. It's
Yeah.
like, no, we're all China.
Yeah,
Like, they are dialed into that now.
because that's the way it was for them from day one, right?
Yeah,
In
sure.
Hong Kong, it's kind of this weird thing where you kind of were sent overseas to study for a bit, and you come back home, and people are telling. Like, one of my things I keep telling people, like the way I see it is that Hong Kong is that one sibling that got sent overseas to study, came back to the family, and was like, "Hey, mom, let's go out for hamburgers tonight." The mom's like, "No, we're Chinese. We don't eat hamburgers." It's like, "No, mom. I'm not saying I'm not Chinese. I'm saying let's try some burgers." "No, we eat char siu bao." It's like, "Mom, I'm not saying we don't eat char siu bao. I'm saying why don't we try burgers? I've never tried it. Your grandfather's never tried it. Your other brothers have never tried it. They don't need it. Look at them. They're smiling. They're happy. Why can't you listen to me and eat your char siu bao? You're Chinese." It's like, "Mom, this has nothing to do with whether I'm Chinese or not. I'm simply saying I learned what this is. I saw what this is. I have a feeling you might like it. How about we all just go out and try it?" And mom's like, "And what if we all like it, huh? What if they all start turning out on hamburgers every single day? How do you want me to cook hamburgers? Do you think we can afford hamburgers?" "Whoa, mom, I mean, you're taking it too far now. Fine, I'll just eat my char siu bao. Good boy." That sort of thing. So it's kind of that I've seen a bit more of the world and I want to share it with you, but you're holding on to the idea that this new mentality or this new thing might disrupt everything that we've had so far.
Sure.
Right? So Cantonese in the same way. It's in a way where it's saying, if suddenly now you're learning Cantonese, it might open your mind in a different way. You might suddenly question differently. All of a sudden you're swearing in different tones. I can't have that. I want you guys the way it is. It's been tradition to the family, so stick with it.
How do people here look at Mandarin speakers?
Half and half, honestly. Like, if you look at the sensationalism of the newspapers, then obviously you're going to see like people who look down upon it. "Oh, the mainland Chinese, you're in Hong Kong, speak Cantonese." At the same time, it's also a business opportunity where people see Mandarin speakers and say, "Okay, this is the doorway to the another world of business." So it's half and half. Honestly, like myself, if I see someone speaking in Mandarin, my immediate go-to thing is not like, "Oh, God, you're in Hong Kong." I'm not thinking that. What I am thinking is like, okay, what Mandarin are they speaking? As in, like, from where are they? I'm curious more about the person. However,
This is more about you, though.
Yeah, this is me. So I have my own kind of open view, but there are people who are just upset with the language. The language itself just rubs them the wrong way.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
When it becomes a symbol of oppression.
Yeah.
Last question before we get out of here from Matt Hutchinson. He said, what is our take on Hong Kong's treatment of its minority languages, such as Hakka and Urdu? And are there parallels with the way Beijing treats Cantonese in schools and online video platforms and live
I would
streaming?
say the Hong Kong government doesn't even know what a minority language is. Based on what they've done so far, they're like, "I guess it's a language you don't speak much of." It's like, yes, but there's much more to it. Honestly, if you want to talk about how Hong Kong handles it, I would say pretty terribly from a government point of view, simply because after all these years calling ourselves an international city, until this day, the government just cannot get their stuff together and have their publications in multiple languages, or even have services that cater to ethnic minorities in their own native languages. It really shows you the lack of care or effort they're putting into it. Luckily, in Hong Kong, you have a lot of NGOs that actually put in the effort to make the translations. You have a lot of guys like myself or who've grown up in Hong Kong, and we feel that we have the ability to maybe kind of bridge the gap. And then you try to use your ways. For example, I will inform relatives or family who are not Cantonese speakers or Chinese speakers, and at least let them know what's actually going on. What's that big printout? Because just I'll give you an example. With the elections, basically the electrical elections and everything, the candidates will start sending you their mailers of, "Hey, vote for me because I'm this, that, right?" And a lot of them will send it out only in Chinese. to districts that are predominantly ethnic minorities.
Where are the minority districts?
All over the place. You would get like Yau Ma Tei, in Yunlong, Tin Shui Wai, those different places. And the bizarre thing is that you will have guys who've been running as candidates and running and winning, but their flags are all still in Chinese because they're like, you know what, you're such a small population. We don't really care if you can read it or not. And chances are you're just going to ask your friend, who you voting for? A? Okay, I'll vote for A too.
Who's it? Was it Thomas Jefferson or someone said democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on who to have for dinner?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I'm sure it was somebody else that said that.
Yeah. Yeah, but we get the point.
Yeah.
None of them are good, man. That's the game. He's just the lesser of two evils kind of a deal. Yeah.
So should I learn Cantonese?
I would say learn it if you want to enjoy a different part of Hong Kong. If you want to
do it.
Yeah.
I know
20 minutes a day, dude. 20 minutes a day. Just say for the next 20 minutes from 3 to 3:20 p.m., don't talk to me in other language than Cantonese.
All right. Stay tuned, everybody. I'm going to have 20 minutes of awkwardness with Vivek every day.